Welcome back to your reinvention era. This episode is going to be fun and energizing, and you're also going to walk away with a very tangible tool that you can start to apply to your life right now. And this is totally free, my friend, but it does take belief and awareness to implement, and this is what I am going to give you today. And after I tell you why this is effective and how to do this, I'm going to give you 3 quality questions that you can begin to ask yourself right now to get the foundation of your reinvention journey solidified. This concept of asking yourself high quality questions while also understanding how the opposite, asking yourself low quality questions, can really negatively affect you. And the difference that these 2 types of questions will produce for you is potentially the difference between you staying stuck and moving forward, between you holding on to your extra weight or getting that dream body, or between you staying single and attracting the love of your life. So let's begin by defining high quality. And what we're doing here is we're making some really powerful word associations. High quality is premium, world class, exquisite, high grade, which denotes superior craftsmanship or value. And immediately when I read this definition, my brain went to the foundational components of a custom home. Custom homes are built with the highest quality products in order to sustain what goes into them. High quality questions are like the components of a high quality custom home. They are specific, individual, and add so much value to the structure. And in this case, your high quality questions give you the foundation to building a strong mindset, emotional capacity, problem solving skills, powerful decision making, and peace with your past, just to name a few. So we went ahead and defined high quality. Let's look at what is low quality. So the definition of low quality is cheap, low value, poorly made. Now let's take this definition and contrast it to our home build example. If a custom home is made with the highest quality foundational components, a track home is created with mass production, fast output in order to get something built. Low quality questions are like this too. They are easy to ask because they are more than likely rehearsed and practiced. They tend to be widely available, especially if there has not been a conscious awareness of the quality of questions that you've been asking yourself. So let's dive into why low quality questions are damaging and then explore some examples that may be sneaking their way into the foundational thinking of your mind and really affecting your life and hindering your reinvention. So low quality questions, they assume defeat. They point backward instead of forward. They trigger emotional shutdown or self-protection. They keep the nervous system in survival mode, and they give the brain nothing useful to search for. When you ask a low-quality question, your brain doesn't look for solutions. It looks for the evidence that you're right. So let's take some examples of low-quality questions that you may be asking yourself and then show why they could be blocking your solutions. Number 1, why does this always happen to me? And this is low quality because this question assumes you are a victim and that the pattern is permanent. And what your brain looks for is proof that you're unlucky, broken, or powerless. And what it cannot look for is your choices, your leverage, and a new approach. Number 2, what's wrong with me? And this is low quality because it attacks identity instead of addressing specific behavior or circumstances. It assumes that's who you are. And so what your brain looks for here are flaws, shame, and past mistakes. And your brain can't look for skills to build, strengths to activate, or lessons to extract from your current situation. Number 3, why can't I ever get it right? And this is low quality because it collapses everything into failure and ignores your progress. And your brain really will look for the moments that you failed. And it can't look for what's currently working for you, what's close, or what just may need a small adjustment. Number 4, what if I fail? And this is low quality because it activates fear and threat instead of strategy. And your brain will look for the worst case scenarios and why it will fail. And what it can't look for here is preparation, contingency plans, or growth opportunities amongst the failure. Number 5, why is this so hard? This is a low quality question because it frames difficulty as a problem instead of a normal part of expansion. And what your brain will look for here are reasons to quit instead of reasons to move forward. And what it can't look for are resilience opportunities, capability, or support systems that you may have access to. And number 6, why did this happen to me? This is a very low quality question because it keeps you anchored in the past. Your brain will look for blame, injustice, and regret. And it cannot look for meaning, redirection, or your next level identity. And so what's really happening in your brain when you ask low quality questions is that you're triggering your fear center, your amygdala, and you're reducing access to your prefrontal cortex, which is your decision-making part of the brain and where you can access creativity and solutions. And low quality questions keep the nervous system in reaction and not leadership. So instead of problem solving, your brain goes into defending and explaining, justifying, and freezing. And that's why people feel stuck, even though they're intelligent and capable. And that could be you right now, not really seeing a solution to where you currently are because of the low quality questions that you're asking yourself. So now that we explored low quality questions, let's pivot back to the power of high quality questions and what they do to your brain. High quality questions point the brain forward. They activate creativity, logic, and resourcefulness. They regulate your nervous system, and they move you from reaction into self-leadership, really from this place of powerlessness to being empowered. And instead of asking what's wrong, you start to ask yourself what's possible. So high quality questions activate your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's creative, the part of your brain that is your solution making machine. They reduce emotional reactivity. High quality questions signal safety to the nervous system. They also direct your reticular activating system, also known as your RAS. Now, your RAS is so powerful because it acts as a filter that really allows you to focus your attention on what you're wanting to focus on. And I know you have experienced this. Let's take a really common example. Perhaps you have a car that you wanted to purchase and you started to see that car everywhere. Why? That was your RAS filtering out every other car type, model, color to really hone in on the one that you have been thinking about and focusing on. High quality questions upgrade your filtering system, and your mind really moves from protect me to guide me. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of the questions you ask when things don't go your way. Powerful people don't have fewer problems. They ask better questions when those problems show up. So now that we defined a high quality question versus a low quality question, and really what is going on in your mind, in your brain, when you ask the two types of questions, I'm going to give you a 3-question framework that you can begin to use right now as a tool in your tool chest of your reinvention journey that is going to create massive shifts for you and how you're showing up in your life. So here are the 3 high quality questions that activate your momentum. Are you ready, my friend? Here we go. Number 1 is why, and this is tied to your vision. Here is the question. Why does this matter to me? What does this question do to your brain? It shifts your focus from discomfort to purpose and activates long-term thinking instead of short-term vision, and it connects action to your identity and values. And here's what your brain will start to do for you. The brain will start to look for the future you are moving toward, the person you're becoming, the deeper reason this isn't optional. When your why is clear, discomfort stops being a stop sign and starts being evidence that you're simply growing. I heard it said in another way. When the why is clear, the how is easy. And scripture says this, without vision, the people perish. Your vision is your why. And with your why, there will be a life force and an energy behind you that will make you unstoppable, even on the most difficult of days. Number 2, why me? And this has to do with your capability and identity. Here's the question. Why do I have what it takes to handle this? This question interrupts self-doubt without bypassing reality. And what it does to your brain is it shifts you from inadequacy to competence. It rewrites identity in real time, and it builds self-trust instead of hype. And the brain will start to look for specific evidence of your past wins, of your strengths developed through adversity, and your proof of resilience, not perfection. This isn't about your ego. It's simply about recognizing the evidence that you are not underqualified for your own life. And number 3, why now? This has to do with urgency and leadership. Here's the question: why is now the most powerful time for me to act? This question breaks the illusion of someday, and what it does to your brain is it collapses procrastination. It converts fear into clarity, and it anchors action in the present moment. And the brain starts to look for the cost of waiting, momentum that's available right now, and this version of you that benefits from immediate action. Waiting doesn't make things easier. It just usually makes them heavier, right? So here's how these 3 questions work together, this 3-question framework that is going to create so much momentum for you in your reinvention journey. The why gives you direction. The why me gives you confidence. And the why now gives you movement. Ask these 3 questions to yourself. Why me, why now, and you will see yourself move. So anytime you are feeling yourself stalling, I want you to ask all 3. Why does this matter? Why am I capable? Why is now the moment? Your brain will always answer you, but make sure it's answering questions that move your life forward. Your future doesn't respond to pressure. It really responds to clarity, belief, and decisive action. And that starts with the questions that you ask yourself. And before we close, I want to anchor this in something really important. Your brain is a goal-producing machine. It's always working. It's always answering your questions. And it will work for you or against you depending on what you ask. You are the director, my friend. Low-quality questions train your brain to look for threat, limitation, and reasons to stop. High-quality questions train your brain to look for solutions, strength, and forward movement. Your brain doesn't argue with you. It simply goes to work. So if that's true, why wouldn't you intentionally have it work for you? Why wouldn't you use it to create a stronger mind, greater emotional capacity, clear, powerful decisions, solutions instead of spirals, and real embodied self-confidence? This is the foundation of your reinvention. Not hype, not force, but real leadership from the inside out. So when you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or tempted to wait, come back to these 3. Why? Why does this matter to me? Why is this part of the life I'm building? Why me? Why do I have what it takes to handle this? What evidence proves I'm capable of more than I think? And why now? Why is right now the most powerful time for me to act? What does waiting actually cost me? Ask better questions and your brain will give you better answers. Better answers lead to better decisions, and better decisions create a better life. You don't need more motivation, my friend. You simply need better questions. You need high-quality questions. Remember, you're building a custom, one-of-a-kind life, not a one-size-fits-all track-home life. Let your brain do what it was designed to do, work for you, not against you. Now, did you like this episode? And if so, if this was impactful, if you experienced an aha moment or a shift that you're excited about, please share it with a friend who could use it and leave me a 5-star rating and a review. This is how this podcast and content will get spread around the world to other people who are ready to reinvent themselves. And my friend, I would love to hear from you directly. Send me your questions and or comments. DM me on my Instagram at Katie Lee Life Coach. I want to give you the content that you want to hear. All right, my friend, I love you so much. I'm rooting for you. You got this. I'll see you next week. I want to share something I've been building. It's called the Reinvention Room, and it's a founder-level private coaching membership for high-achieving men and women who are ready to consciously step into their next chapter. We meet twice a month for live group coaching, and each member also receives a private one-on-one coaching session with me every month. This isn't about fixing yourself or starting over. It's about exploring who you're becoming now and having the right room to support that evolution. If something inside you lights up as you hear this, I invite you to trust that. You can find all the details and apply through the link in the show notes. I'll see you inside the room.